is your MVP, though, right now?
I think Jalen Hurts is having a phenomenal season. I thought he played well last night. I thought he did some good things last night. There was concerns. We're going to talk about that a little later that I saw with the Eagles for the first time. I saw some things that I didn't like, but we'll discuss that later. Skip, right now, I think Josh Allen, this is Josh Allen award to lose. He doing what he did, the game-winning drive, the fourth quarter comeback against the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that puts him in the head because we see how well Patrick Mahomes is playing. We see how well Lamar Jackson's playing. And he went to those guys home and beat both of those guys.
He did?
I got Allen 1, I got Mahomes 2, I got Jalen Hurts 3. Skip, at the end of the day, and I understand that people are going to say, well, Jalen Hurts is undefeated. But at the end of the day, this is still a stat award. It's about numbers. And when you look at the numbers, Allen and Mahomes has played one less game, but they still have more passing touchdowns, more passing yards. He and Allen are, Hurts and Allen are saying 65% completion percentage. Mahomes is 67. Mahomes leads in touchdown passes with 20. Allen is right behind him with 19. Average yards per game passing. Allen has 314. Mahomes is 308. And Jalen Hurts is 11 with 255. The Eagles are 28th in passing percent, which means they only pass the ball 49% of the time. They run it 51% of the time. And the other teams, the league averages 58% of the time. So for me, Skip, I think this is Josh Allen's award to lose. I'm going to say Josh Allen is 1, followed by closely by Patrick Mahomes 2, and I got Jalen Hurts at 3.
Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
I began to tell you soon after the Eagles stole Jalen Hurts in the second round of that draft that he will change life in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I just believe in him in every way, shape, and form. I never said he was the greatest thrower of the football, but he might have improved in a couple of years' time as much as I've ever seen anybody improve at this level of football.
He's improved like Josh Allen. You remember what Josh Allen was his rookie year? And then they gave him Stephon Diggs and boom, boom, boom. Well, they gave him A.J. Brown, and the next thing you know,
boom, boom, boom.
We're having a conversation about MVP.
We are. I tweeted immediately that day when they stole him in the second round that he is better than Carson Wentz as we speak and will always be better than Carson Wentz. And I believe that held true.
Yes.
I just think, and we're just about halfway through, he has been the MVP so far. And I can't even do it with the numbers because Josh's numbers, as I look down, are a little better. Like
Even
Josh,
his rushing numbers are better than
slightly. It's 41 yards a game for Jalen to 44. And that surprised me. That did surprise me. You got me on that one. Josh is 19 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Jalen is 12, but only to 2 interceptions.
Right.
Okay. I'm doing it in large part intangibly. And don't underestimate what happened that Sunday night at Philadelphia. You talked about the big Josh Allen games, and the one I give you for sure was the one at Kansas City. That was spectacular. Yeah. That's when I said, hey, right now he's playing at a higher level than Patrick Mahomes. So when we go to the 2 young guns who are seen as the two who have next, if not they are next.
Right.
That was the day he just showed me I can outgun that gun in his home.
Yep.
Okay, so now we look at the intangibles of what happened. So my Dallas Cowboys on that Sunday night, that was their game of the year so far. That's how they got to 8-0. Cooper Rush got them back, as you remember, to 20-17. He's down 20-17, and it's up to my defense, led by my guy, my old Micah, 11 from heaven, Parsons, to stop Jalen Hurts.
Right.
And they couldn't on 3 straight third downs. He made the play with his arm or actually with his legs, and those because he scrambled once, then he ran a great read option and decided to let it go.
Right.
And got the first down, and then he sneaked for a big 1.5 yards and got the first down.
Right.
That killed my Cowboys' chances because then they took it right on home, and then he hits Devontae, and then he hits A.J., and it's touchdown, and it's basically the game was over at that point.
Okay.
Intangible leadership. He has changed the way the Eagles look to me on the football field because with Wentz, I was always like, I always spelled it W-I-N-C-E, like I wince. Yeah. He's got huge ability, got way more prototypical ability than Jalen ever thought about having because what's Carson? 6'5",
245, 250, yeah.
Huge arm, commanding in the pocket, until he gets a little heat, and then he gets a little happy-footed, and then he starts to shake, and then I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And he can go completely haywire, inaccurate when you least expect it and throw it to the other team. Jalen is extreme intangibles on got to make that play at that moment to win that game.
Right.
But more than that, off the field, he was everything Carson just wasn't born to be. I'm talking about extreme leadership.
Yes.
Where he walked in the door and started to take over the team in the weight room, and then the locker room, and then on the sideline, and then in the huddle, and then playmaking.
Right.
They just believe in him. They love him.
Yep.
They want to play for him. They want to make plays with him. And it's always a we. It's not an I. There's
Right.
no Aaron Rodgers going on here, right? There's no I'm separate. I'm not. He's not looking down on his teammates. He's one of, right?
Yep.
I love all that about him. And you can just see when they get in trouble, he responds. They got in a little trouble last night against a hopeless underdog with a kid named Pierce who just runs fierce to me. I mean, that kid can just bang it.
Yes.
Whew. And he was keeping them in the game. I'm not a Davis Mills guy. I just think you're just stuck. The ceiling is so low. But he made a couple of throws, and all of a sudden we go to halftime and it's 14-14.
Yeah, this is the first time all year they didn't have an outright lead at the half.
Okay. And Jalen just kept on keeping on. He kept responding. Jalen has worked so hard on his throwing motion.
He has.
Now he's going over the top.
Yep.
So that was just textbook to me. He read it like he's reading a comic book.
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
it's simple football. He's seeing it, feeling it. I got this.
Yes.
And he hit him right in stride, right past the safety, and it's an easy 6. And all of a sudden they kick the point, and it's 21-14, and they are starting to be in command.
Right.
And then, listen, he is making Dallas Goedert a force in this league. And I'm not saying he's Travis Kelce, or Kittle, but he's starting to creep up into the upper echelon of tight ends because they were great on the field after the game.
Right.
As a lifelong diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, he scares me to death. But I've told you that from the start. But even worse, I've told you, I just grew up hating the Eagles. I never hated the Giants. I didn't even hate the team in Washington that we used to call that other name.
Yes.
But I hated the Eagles. I hated the color of the uniforms. It's kind of this sickly green. I don't know.
And the fans were nasty.
They're just nasty. But Jalen Hurts is making it almost impossible for me to hate the Philadelphia Eagles because he's got high character. He's got the strongest football backbone. I love his background because, as you know, his dad was his coach.
Yes.
And I love kids who come from coach fathers because, man, you're going to be taught the right way to play, and you're going to have the right football character. So he does. And all the above adds up to 8-0, and he's the biggest reason for 8-0 because he's changed the way they look. Their body language looks different because they all know they're going to be okay because he'll make sure they're okay.
Yes.
And every time they've been in any kind of trouble, he just responds immediately with a long drive and a big pass for a touchdown.
But Skip, if we just look at it, and they play one fewer game, if we were to just project this, you're looking at Allen and Mahomes looking at 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to compete just on pure numbers.
And that's the thing. I mean, you're going to look. These guys are going to be completing 65%, possibly 5,000. Mahomes is on pace to throw for 50, I think 5,100 yards and 52 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Allen maybe a tick under that, but a few more yards. Skip, it's going to be hard. And I don't now if he goes 16-1, 17-0. But the numbers that Allen and Mahomes...
seriously, they have a real shot at 17-0. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But they're going to be favored in every game. What if they cash? What if they cash their favorite role in every game and they go 17-0? Well, he's going to be the MVP. I don't care if Josh throws for 30,000 yards, right? I mean,
Dak was supposed to throw for 5,700 yards and 57 touchdowns.
Okay. This year, okay, well, that's true. But were they going to go 17-0? No.
Nobody's going to throw for 5,700 yards and 57 touchdowns.
Wasn't that the Madden projection?
Something.
It was
58, something.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. I think that's not going to happen. But the point is, if they do go 17-0, heck, if they go 16-1, I just think just on sheer record that number is going to prevail over all these statistical numbers.
Because when we look at it, Skip, you remember when in 2019 when Lamar won? Lamar numbers were impressive. People were like, well, He had 14-2, but he had 36 touchdowns passing. He had what?
Was he tied for the most touchdown passes with Jameis?
Right?
Right?
I think he was tied for the most touchdown passes. So when you look at it like that, you look at the numbers.
You can't argue with those numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. The numbers, he's going to have to probably, Skip, even if he goes 15-2, he's going to have to probably get to like 30 touchdowns.
Okay.
Because it's going to be hard if you got 25 touchdowns and another guy and the other two guys got you doubled up.
All right. The first number you did mention, though, was over time that Mahomes and Josh Allen are going to have higher passing completion percentage, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, look at what's happened right now so far. Jalen's at 68% to Josh's 66%. Well, that's phenomenal to me. So that's one for Jalen, right? You got to give him that. And then the last number I'll throw back at you is Jalen already has 6 rush touchdowns.
Yes.
To Josh's 2. And sometimes rush touchdowns just come and go because you could be at the half-yard line, you sneak it in, and you can say, well, that was a cheap one.
Right.
But he's on pace. Let's just say he gets to 12.
Right.
If he gets 12 rush touchdowns to 4 for Josh, that will hold some sway there. That will have impact on voters' decisions.
Okay.
Because with your legs, you're getting it into the end zone.
Okay. But, Skip, I just think the thing is, okay, Josh Allen has 4 rushing touchdowns. He has 50 passing touchdowns. That's still going to be probably 10 to 15 more total than Jalen Hurts. And you look at Mahomes. Skip, Mahomes is doing this with no Tyreek. And we see what Tyreek is doing in Miami. Tyreek is going to be my offensive player of the year. Because if he continues these numbers, Skip, a guy gets 2,000 receiving yards in a season, Skip, I got to give him some award.
Okay.
I don't know what we got. Maybe we created an award.
Okay, maybe. Although Kelsey's now saying the kid Tony that they got from the Giants is the new Tyreek.
Yeah.
So let's see if that happens.
But I mean, Skip, I remember, I think this kid came, I think he was out of Florida.
Yeah.
He was sensational.
Oh, I know.
Remember against Alabama in the SEC championship game?
Yeah.
So
no, he's like a 4-2 guy.
He has that kind of ability. Got to get healthy. Got to get his head straight. It's just something about guys just love playing for Andy. They go to Kansas City, been problems a lot of other places.
Yeah.
Andy's going to get them the ball, and they're going to have fun doing it. You're going to work. You're going to outline what he wants you to do. But it's close, Skip. I don't think nobody's like running away with it at the halfway point.
I'm impressed with Jalen Hurts. I'm proud of Jalen Hurts, and I'm afraid of Jalen Hurts.
You should be.
Yep, I should be.
You should be.
I got it. I am.
I just need to keep on this MVP pace.
Yeah.
Make sure he plays MVP game one more time.
Just one more big time.
Right before Christmas.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, guys, the Eagles certainly propping up the NFC East. Here's a little known fact for you. The NFC East right now has the best combined record of any division since the 1970 merger. Isn't that crazy? Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.